Welcome to Future Hidden Movie Gems. Today we're talking about Your Next. Cameron, commercials are are what's really good. Okay.
They're eye-popping. They're the most interesting. You have to be creative and quippy. I'm just like,
They're even better than the shows now. I'm just like, oh, stop. And I just love the look of the filmmaker. He's like, I just don't understand the starving artist thing. And you could just see that guy like so pained, like even talking to him, like, please stop talking to me. Like, I love it. It's like sometimes when people say like, oh, their favorite movie of all time is like, just all the Marvel movies or something. And I'm like, actually, I'm okay with it now because after watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I'm like, there's some pretty good ones. But it's just like there's so many masterpieces, and like that's your favorite.
Yeah, I'm lost. What are we talking about? What's going on?
You're next, Nick. The reason you came on the podcast.
Are we talking about like Guardian of the Galaxy? I'm so lost. We started talking about Guardian of the Galaxy and all this other stuff.
We're talking about Your Next, and I got my co-host Cameron.
You never want to do anything interesting anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, that relationship. I mean, she is just as bad as him.
She's worse, bro.
Yeah. I wanted to apologize to Ty, but he can't make it tonight. I felt like it brought back some memories when I used to tease Ty when he's like, he's like, oh, look at that chubby face. I was just like, oh, he's so mean to his brother. Oh my gosh. All right. And then I got my other co-host, Nick.
Ty couldn't make it today because he's resting up for our paintball game that's coming up soon. So that's just for everybody to know. He needs to rest up so he can go up against me because he's about go out. My quote is, why won't you die already? Okay. He had like what 6, 7 things in him. He just kept stabbing him. I was like, what? But anyways,
there was a whole lot of brotherly anger pent up over years, just unleashed in a moment.
Yes. Oh, I know. And because
two at the end right there.
Yeah, because he even hired other people to kill him. But I love that. I think he almost, and you could see it in his face when he was like telling him his wife was dead. Oh, you didn't know? And he just kept repeating it. I think he wanted to torture him because clearly he hated his brother. I just think they all hated each other so much. I mean, clearly he had to if he was willing to let them die. I don't know if it's just the money was enough, but I think he honestly hated his brother.
They definitely hated each other, and then that made the money enough.
Yeah. So let's go around and talk about our 2 favorite things. Cameron, because this is your first time watching it. What was it like watching it for the first time?
Pretty crazy.
I wish I could have watched it with you. I'm so upset.
There was like a couple tone shifts like in the movie that I thought were a little interesting. Like I felt like at the end, it kind of was like, it reminded me of ICU, where like at the end or in the beginning of ICU, you're like, oh yeah, watch out, he's swinging the axe. And at the end, I'm like, dude, watch out, like, or get him. Like, I felt like I was worried for the people that were like the killers. I was worried about them from the girl, bro. She was so insane. I was like, watch out for the axe, bro. Like, she's insane. So I don't know how I feel about the ending, but overall pretty fun. I mean, I totally understand why Jordan wanted to do this one. I'm like, this is so up Jordan's alley, and that's Adam Wingard. I'm like, and that makes sense why he's bringing on Nick too, because I know both of you love Adam Wingard as well.
Dude, his endings are so good.
But yeah, and then you want me to go straight into my 2 things?
Yeah, sure.
I think my first favorite thing was just I love, like, I was glad that the whole, like, that someone was in on it, because that one scene, like, because I was gonna say that one scene when the guy just didn't react with his dad getting killed in front of him. I was like, that is not how I would react if there was a killer in front of me. I'm like, oh, it's because he knew the killer wouldn't kill him, because that was so cheesy that he's like standing there while he's like, and his dad's like falling on him. But I thought that was fun, that like the whole twist of it being someone in the house. And then I think the second thing that I kind of enjoyed is I think it kind of understood how like borderline unbelievable that some random chick just like happens to be like she's like literally like an MI6 operative who just like is a master at like, I felt like I was watching the end of Skyfall or like Home Alone and multiple times. Like, where did you get this string? How did you know that there was a hook? Like so many things. I was like, whatever. I'm not even gonna question the fact that you know how to set up an axe and a brick. But I felt like them leaning into that made it more enjoyable instead of trying to do like, oh, it's realistic.
Yeah, well, and honestly, they poke. It's like it's so interesting because you mentioned that one character. Like honestly, he almost feels like Three Stooges to me. It just, I mean, he embodies a lot of like old school horror movies. Just like people making really dumb decisions. Like we should run for it, but the reason he's saying that is because he's actually a part of it, and he wants his sister,
Oh my
whoever it
gosh,
was.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That he was like telling people. Oh, that makes
Yeah,
so
and that's
much
why he kept saying, "You need to go out. We need to leave." Like, and he was saying all these stupid things, and that's because he was part of it. Like, so he had actual motive, which is so interesting because it's kind of poking fun at the fact that like so many horror movies like make the dumbest decisions ever, and he was telling everybody to make those dumb choices because he was in on it. So it's just really fun to watch it on a second view, or what is this, the third or fourth time, and because it like all those little details I appreciate. So, and there was a lot of that. And I really love this movie so much. Nick and I are huge Adam Wingard fans. We love his movies. They always have the best endings. And that's a lot thanks to Simon Barrett because he writes the fun twist endings. And I'm really bummed that they don't still work together because on Godzilla versus Kong, there's no fun twist ending.
Yeah, I couldn't even make it through that movie.
I was
And I was on a
actually.
plane, and I was on a plane. I couldn't even make it through that movie, and I was on a 4-hour flight. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That was not a good movie. Boo. Boo. I was thinking something else. Boo. No.
I got through it. It wasn't it's not nearly as good as his old stuff. I'm so bummed because his old stuff is the best. I just think him and Simon need to get back together, like get the band back together, start making movies. Because this and The Guest are so good. All right, Nick, what about you? What was it like watching them for the first time and rewatching it for the pod?
I remembered watching it halfway through the movie. I was like, oh, I did watch this movie once before. I mean, it's a good movie. It was
Yeah,
good.
do
This
we?
time it was good the last time, but you know what I mean? It's like the first like 20, 30 minutes, I was like, ah, crap. And then at first I was like, just kind of the whole, way that the camera play, I guess, at first, I didn't quite like. But
Yeah,
then towards the end, when everybody's getting muffed up, I really did like it. Especially like that one scene when the main chick, after she had just like killed the third to last person, and then the one chick is sitting right there, just the way she looks at her and just how they close up on her eyes,
yeah,
and you're like, you can feel it. You're like, oh, she's going up, bro. you know,
yeah.
so I think like just the whole just kind of feel and vibe of the movie, I really was kind of like, especially, after that 30 minutes, it was really,
Yes.
good.
Which is so funny because I just talked to Ty before the podcast when he said he could make it. And he said that he started the movie and then fell asleep and he got right to when things started to get good, which is the second half. This is just funny because that's in my opinion the best part. And
I do agree. I think it crescendos a lot better because I was kind of like, especially kind of like you're saying, Jordan, because of the cheesiness. You're like, oh, brother, like these people are just like so dumb. But then you're like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, like it's because he's trying to make like and set things up.
yeah. Yep. Oh, my only nitpick with this movie is the writings "You're next" on the wall. Like as soon as she goes, like the mom screams, the family runs upstairs, and suddenly they come in the room. There's all the writing on the wall. Like he had 2 seconds of it running.
Jordan, he's a quick painter.
he's, he's like, and how good it looked. Like no.
And using like what's it called, like the blood too. I'm like, there's no way. And what utensil is he writing with?
Yes,
Dude? You're
I
like a big
know.
brush. Freaking Van Gogh over here writing masterpieces in like 3 seconds.
Exactly. I mean, that took obviously artists hours to make. So it's just really funny that they run up. And what I noticed this time though is in between that her screaming and the family running upstairs, they showed another scene. And I think that was because like she was walking the ninja chick, she was walking to the past the window and she gets grabbed, and they show that scene right there. And that was because they're like, we needed to make sure there's a little bit more time, because otherwise people are going to be like, no way, like all that was written in 2 seconds.
Yeah, my only like nitpicks is just, I mean, the only dumb decision I feel like is, or the main dumb decision that keeps being made, is everyone being by themselves. Like the girls, like the mom just is murdered in this bed and they don't know where the killer is, and she's just like, let me just cover her up while everyone's downstairs. I'm like, what the fudge is wrong with you? And then looks under, like, are you kidding me, bro? I'm not looking under that bed, bro. And then also some of the deaths were like gave me the heebie-jeebies, like the throat one when she ran.
Oh yeah.
But see, but wait, was it the guy that told her to run full
Yep.
speed?
Yeah.
Run full speed. I love her time too. She's like, yeah, I did a 3 mile in like what 20? What'd she say? 23 minutes. Like that's good.
Yeah.
That's terrible. 3 mile and that's bad. That's like
Also some
of
the acting was pretty. It reminded me of Coherence, Jordan, where I was like,
Yeah.
clearly a lot of the budget wasn't on great actors.
Oh yeah, totally. That's so funny you said that, because I totally thought of Coherence as well. And then I just wanted to shout out really quick the mom. She's in Reanimator. I know you haven't seen it, Cameron, but it's a movie I really love. Nick does not like it. He says it's one of the most disturbing movies he's ever seen. Not next to Tusk, it's under Tusk, but it's called Reanimator. Do you remember that one? Yeah, that's okay. You probably tried to forget it.
I did. It's suppressed from my memories.
Anyways,
unfortunately, I can't suppress Tusk from my memories because that one was so bad.
I could tell you some scenes, but anyways, it's got like the severed head guy and this.
Yeah, I do somewhat remember it. Just
yeah. And so anyways, I love it. And the mom in this movie, she plays the main character in that. And I just thought that was really fun that he brought her in and was able to get her in the movie, which is pretty great. And yeah, I personally love this movie. I think the ending is fantastic. I love a good twist ending. I mean, I'm not saying you need to make every movie with a twist like M. Night Shyamalan, but I appreciate this one because there's something so satisfying about, like, you know, you're like, yes, kill all those psychopaths. And all of a sudden, like, a cop shows up to kill him. Like, so good. And then he gets axed. It's just well done.
Jordan, it's kind of interesting. I was just looking at it. It said that the location, like the primary filming location, was an antique home that had been empty for 12 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, because that's why I was like, there was a lot of things where I'm like, this is like a really old, like wild house. Because I kept like all of the just like this, like the setup. I'm like, I know they mentioned like, oh, it's his dad's like retirement project or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I thought made a lot more sense. But I was like, because overall, I was like, this is like really confusing as why like certain parts of the house look like a murder scene already. I thought it was funny when the guy who got shot in the back, like the one like douche brother, like after like 10 minutes in the movie or 10 minutes of being shot, he was just like walking around fine. And I was like, bro, you still have that in your back. He was just like, oh yeah, so anyway. And I was like, what?
Can't even feel it anymore, Cameron. That's what he said.
Yeah. I know. I was like,
no, my favorite is, like I said, I compared the guy to the Three Stooges, the ones that gets the blender to the head, which is an amazing death, by the way. I love the deaths in this movie.
I knew you'd love them.
I loved it. And it's just every quote he says, like it's like I said, stuff I've heard in the past from really bad horror movies. And what I love when he's like, we heard a noise, and so we decided not to come down. And I'm like, what? Like I just love that. I just appreciate those little details. And when he that one guy, the douchebag brother, when he drops, like sets down to the axe, don't set down your weapon. That always makes me so frustrated.
Or the girl, when after she murdered the guy downstairs, she didn't take his machete. I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, why aren't we picking up the machete?
I did like her call though on leaving a camera flashing, so he, like, you know, couldn't see anything. That was smart.
Yeah.
But
poor douchebag brother. In retrospect, he was the good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, he didn't deserve a blender to the head. Let's just say that. That's what I my favorite scene of, like, for me, it was like the switch of who's the protagonist and who's the antagonist was when she murdered that guy and she's like, thanks for the help. And he's like, you seem to have a handle. I was like, that was the moment that I was like, maybe you should be locked up. I was like,
Yes.
it was just like I would tell Jordan with in Barbarian. I was like, the Skarsgård son. I was like, even if he isn't the killer, he is a killer.
Yeah.
Regardless. So creepy. I think it's a good like group watch movie.
Yeah, which is why I'm really bummed I didn't watch it with you, because I watched it with Nick and I watched it with Ty. And I think it would have been, I mean, personally, I watched it and had a blast watching it on my own, but that's because, I mean, this is,
you're insane.
no, these are my kind of movies. So
That's because Jordan would plan a vacation, a family reunion where we all get murdered.
no, but
Cameron, you weren't supposed to get hurt.
do we recommend this movie?
If you don't mind violence. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I recommend it with a warning. The first
Yes.
20 minutes suck.
The beginning. Yeah, it is funny. Actually, now that you say that, Nick, the first time I tried watching this, I didn't finish it. I started it, and this came out when we were in high school. I was like, why do people like this? And what's the big deal? And I tried getting through it, and that intro, I'm just like, this is so cliche slasher. But then it's not till the end that you're like, oh, this is the second half is very different, and it's very fun. So I do, if you like slasher flicks, but other than that, probably not.
Yep.
All right, Cameron, what have you seen lately, and what are you looking forward to?
I was gonna say you first, Nugget.
I mean, if you want, I got a huge list, so I could cruise through them.
No, I just finished season 2 of Ted Lasso. Because it kind of waned in the middle of the season. I was kind of like,
Oh,
but it
really?
finished really strong, which I was really happy about. So I was impressed by that. I rewatched It Comes at Night. So good.
I'm young.
And then I don't know if I mentioned this on the last pod, but went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think I did.
I think you did mention it, yeah.
But
It's so good. We just didn't want any spoilers. That's why I told you to not say anything.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I don't know. I thought Rocket's backstory was so good.
It was amazing. And
Dude, the part where like the one thing I didn't love is I felt like that scene where he gets super emotional and like starts like yelling. Like I don't know if it was either the music or something just didn't match the tone, because a lot of people in the theater like weren't sad. They were just like kind of like, oh yeah, like get him, you know. But I was like, this is so depressing. He's literally like sobbing out of like depression of his friends getting murdered. And yeah, that's pretty much everything that I've seen. I've been super busy, so I've watched like 2/3 of Her now. Drew keeps getting tired. So eventually we'll finish it, but I feel like he's not enjoying it a lot.
Oh, interesting.
And so and it's and Her is one of those that I struggle to recommend, because it's like, I know it, same thing with Zodiac. It's one of those where I'm like, it's so niche and I just appreciate it so much. That's why I don't recommend it a lot. Like, I know objectively a lot of people might not love it, and so that's why I was kind of like, But yeah, he said he wants to finish it. So, but he's like, I don't really know how to feel yet. I'm like, So, but what about you, Jordan?
Yeah, so I saw a lot. I rewatched Drive for like the zillionth time. Still a masterpiece. It's still in my top 100. I watched Speed with my wife for the first time because she listens to the Office Girls podcast or whatever, and the Office Ladies, and they talked about Speed. Like, they took a separate, like a whole break from their, because that lady Cameron from Donnie Darko, who's like, don't say that word, she came on as a guest.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, she was on an episode. She was like Dwight's babysitter or whatever, and Dwight like dated her.
No way.
Yeah, so she came on, and she was also in Speed, and she talked about all the different stuff, and it was kind of fun.
She plays the same character in Speed as she does in Donnie Darko.
She plays the same and all. And then I watched California Suit. It's not great. And then Significant Other, which I'm excited to talk about with Ty. I'll wait till he gets on next week. Very fun. I love. I believe her name's pronounced Micah. Is it Maika? Is that Micah? Mika? I don't know. And then I rewatched El Jefe, which is the first episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead, just because that specific episode was directed by Sam Raimi, and it's so good because Sam Raimi's style is perfect. I watched Roadhouse for the first time. Holy crap, it's amazing, Cameron. It is so freaking good if you haven't seen it. But there is a lot of inappropriate stuff. So I don't know. We might have to watch it together so I can skip over some stuff with you. And then Striking Distance with Bruce Willis was really good because it's the same director of Roadhouse. So I'm just like going through all his movies because I like love that movie so much. Then we got Super Cop, which I rewatched. I've just been on like these Jackie Chan movies binges. They're really fun if you like physical comedy or just watching somebody like do real stunts and like break his poor body to make it happen. And then I watched Being John Malkovich with my wife. She really enjoyed it. That was really fun. We had a fun discussion afterwards. And then Kicks Boxer, I watched for the first time, Cameron. I can't say his name. It's Claude. Let's see. Jean-Claude Van Damme. I am a huge fan now. I love his action movies. And
What is he in?
it's called Kickboxer. It's like the rated R version of Karate Kid. And he just like, there's so much I love about it. Like there's a scene, Cameron, where you know how when you go to box, you like wrap your knuckles with like tape or whatever. Well, then they dip their fingers in broken glass, and then they start fighting each other. It's crazy. It's so good. I love it. Ingrid Goes West. I just finished that with my wife, which is fun. It's a really good movie. I've seen that 3 times now. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I mean, we have to take like more time to talk about this because I absolutely loved it. I was just like,
I'd be even down to do like a mini episode next week if Ty watches it.
Yeah, I'd definitely be down because it's so good. There's so much I want to talk about. James Gunn is the best. And I wonder too if he channeled, because in the end credits it said something about in memory of James Gunn Sr. So I wonder if his dad died and he was able to kind of channel some of that into it, because there was a lot more emotion.
So much emotion.
Which is surprising coming from James Gunn, because usually he kind of like avoids emotion. He's just like, let's just, he makes a joke.
Or he'll hit emotion and not let it last for like longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah. Because he
like,
quickly
heartfelt, right?
Yeah.
Joke.
Yep. Nick, do you want to say really quick what you've seen lately and what you're looking forward to?
What have I seen lately?
I don't know, Nick. What have you seen lately?
Let me pull up some stuff. Let's see. I watched this one movie that wasn't really good. Wasn't really into it. I think it was called Hammer of the Gods or something. It was weird. I don't know. This just kind of came on when I was doing stuff, but it was weird. I didn't like it. What else did I see? Oh, I saw. I can't find my stuff. I'm not like nerds like you. I can't have all this stuff just readily available. You guys read off like some kind of like list and stuff.
I keep a list now.
Find my stuff. My goodness. And you got the list of like your top 100, which is apparently a dynamic list, changes all the time.
It does a little bit.
Top 5 or something. Well, I can't find it. Doesn't matter.
Tell us your top 5, Nick.
Literally wasn't
I bet I know at least one of your top 5. It's Die Hard, the first one.
You have to guess all my top 5.
Okay, but am I right? Die Hard, the first movie, is in your top 5. Am I right?
Die Hard 1 is in my top 5.
Oh, I'm right. All right. Let's see. Your second one's probably. Oh, I'm trying to think of a movie you love. John Wick.
John Wick 1. I mean.
No, it's not. Okay, maybe top 10.
I don't know. It's tough because there's a lot of I don't know. John, it's definitely my top 10.
Okay, top 10. All right. Dang, I can't think of.
Well, you got one right.
Let me pull up.
How about this? Every time I'm on, you try to guess one of them.
One second. I bet I can guess it if I just have a list of action movies.
Do you think they're all action movies?
Probably. Oh wait, Schindler's List?
No.
Really? Okay.
I'm gonna put it in my top 20. It's not to say that's not a bad movie, because it's a good movie. It is a good movie. It's not, to be in my top 5, man, it's gotta be a movie that I like, can go to on the regular and watch and enjoy very much. Schindler's List is not a movie I go to on the regular.
Law-Abiding Citizen, is that one? It's got to be at least top 10.
It definitely was one of my top 5 at one point, but it's
not anymore.
It's probably in my top like 15 if I had a top 15.
Olympus Has Fallen. I feel like one of Gerard Butler's movies has got to be in your top 10.
Olympus Has Fallen. No, I wouldn't put that in my top.
Okay. I just know you really like Gerard Butler. So
I'll tell you one of my top 5. It's not even that. I mean, most people wouldn't even believe that's even a great movie, but I love Armageddon. It's one of my favorites.
oh, that's right. Dang it.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that.
Armageddon. It's probably one of my. It's probably number one. Obviously, I don't know. I don't know if it's number one, but it's definitely
Up there. Yeah.
one of those I could just watch.
What
I
about
I love the cast. I love everything. I love even the Russian guy. It's all great. The whole movie's great. In fact, I want to watch it right now. I might watch it tonight.
Yeah.
Meg 2's coming out this year, right?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, what are you looking forward to? Meg 2. I texted you a couple other ones. Oh, I'm excited for Saw 10. I know Nick, you're not, but I am.
Told me to watch this show called Jury Duty.
Yeah, so you're gonna watch that?
I don't know.
Nick.
I probably would love it. I probably should. Yeah.
And I'm working right now on animating our episode on Alice in Borderland. So I'm 1 minute into 8 minutes left because it just takes hours and hours and hours to animate. But I'm getting there.
All right. Well, have fun with that.
This is Future Hidden Gems signing out. Peace.